Hey, what's going on, guys? It's John Marcus, your Real 2K Insider, and today I'm working on the Chicago Bulls. I just finished off their player ratings, and now I'm gonna start looking at their badges. Here's what I've got for them so far. Alright, so let's look at the badges. And I guess I'll start with we're going to do it by category. So finishing first, then shooting, then playmaking, then defense. So might as well start with Kobe White, who just has teardropper. And I'm going to be reviewing basically any changes that were made between this season and last season by 2K to see if we can find any league-wide trends and evaluate, how they evaluate the game and these skills. It changes on a year-to-year basis. I've already noticed some things from doing the 76ers, so we're going to do the Bulls and see if these things match up. So looking at Kobe White, he's only got teardropper among his finishing badges. That makes sense. He's not really a finisher at the rim. He's more of an off-the-dribble shooter. No complaints there. Zach LaVine looks like he had some changes. Contact finisher. Last year that was a silver, now it's a gold. Fast break finisher. That was gold last year. Relentless finisher. That was gold also last year. Showtime was a gold, which makes sense. One of the best dunkers in the league. Acrobat was silver. Consistent finisher was silver. Cross key scorer. That looks like it's a new addition. Yep. Silver. I noticed with the 76ers, a bunch of players had cross key added to them, so not too surprising to see LaVine have it added as well. Fancy footwork. That's an upgrade. Last year that was a bronze. Pro touch silver. Lob finisher, still a bronze. And slithery finisher. That's a new addition. As a bronze. But looks like last year he had consistent finisher, and now he does not have it. Last year he was a silver consistent finisher. So it looks like they just gave him slithery instead of consistent. Alright, I think LaVine had, they added 9 badges for him, so I'm expecting a bunch of shooting badges to get added as well. So slithery. Oh, never mind. There's consistent finisher. Okay. So they added not consistent. They added slithery and cross key score. All right. Otto Porter. Cross key. Last year he only had 3 badges, so that doubled to 6. But cross key was one of the badges he already had. Okay. And maybe, as far as what I would give him, possibly like slithery finisher. I'd have to watch him for a little bit. Let's see, MARKKANEN, pick and roller and putback boss. He had both of those last year. Kind of surprised he doesn't have cross key score. But maybe he didn't have good enough year in the post. Wendell Carter Jr. Oops, I lost my progress on my screen. Put back boss Silver. That's a new addition. He didn't have it last year. Back down Punisher. He already had that. He did not have deep hooks though. Okay. SATORANSKY. No finishing badges. Maybe it's possible he would deserve one. I don't know. He's not the world's greatest finisher. Chris Dunn doesn't have any. But he had a couple last year. He had Relentless Finisher last year. Makes sense to take that away. I think they're only going to give that to the really big time guys. So let me just notate that. He lost that. He's a pretty good finisher though for a point guard. So it's possible he gets like maybe Giant Slayer makes sense. Chandler Hutchison doesn't have any, but I don't know. He's a slasher. It's probably something they could give him. Put back boss and cross key scorer for Thaddeus Young. Looks like they took away pick and roller from him, which is interesting because he's one of the better guys. And cross key he already had, actually. So only Levine has got it as a new addition. So, wow, Thaddeus Young lost pick and roller. Interesting. Shaq Harrison, no finishing badges. That's fine. He's a pretty good... Well, is it fine? He's actually a pretty good dunker. Maybe something like fast break finisher. I don't know. I'd have to watch him for a little bit. Luke Cornett doesn't have any. Wouldn't expect him to. Denzel Valentine doesn't have any, but believe it or not, he should have a badge for Teardropper. He's one of the best at that shot in the game. All right. Daniel Gafford, silver lob finisher and silver putback boss. Well, he had silver in both of those last year. A little surprised he doesn't have pick and roller. He's one of the best pick and roll finishers in the league, so that's definitely something that I would add. Arcadia Cone, or no, Archidia. How do you say his name? Let me just figure that out before I embarrass myself for the rest of the stream. Archidiacono. Close enough. All right. Well, no badges. Felicio, pick and roller. Yeah, he had that last year. Putback boss probably makes sense for him. Like he's his one skill is offensive rebounding. Max Strauss tore his Achilles. He'll probably never have a finishing badge if he has an NBA career. Adam Makoka, would have to see more of him. He's a defensive specialist that played at the G League. Alright, that's all the finishing badges. Mostly fine. Alright, so let's go to the shooting badges. Starting again with Kobe White. Alright, catch and shoot bronze, yep. Looks like he had all bronze shooting badges last year, so it doesn't look like anything changed, but let's review. Difficult shots, yeah. Green machine, yep. Hot start. Hot start is a new addition. Didn't have that last year. Hot start is basically microwave. For those who are kind of older 2K players. So that makes sense since he's a scorer off the bench. Pick and popper. That's definitely a new addition. So last year they only gave this to pick and fade guys. Like for example, any like stretch fours would have pick and popper. So like Lauri Markkanen, but they've been giving it out, this badge out to guards who also score in the pick and roll, which leads me to believe that the badge didn't work as it was, as they said it did, and they updated it since, but they didn't update the description. So pick and popper is basically pick and roll, like shooting in the pick and roll on either end of it, not just as the not just for the guy in the fade situation. Pump fake maestro, yeah, you had that already. And slippery off ball, he also had that. So nothing too innovative here. They added hot start, pick and popper. Would have liked to see like volume shooter, I think, since he is one of those guys who is not going to stop shooting during the course of a game. So let's take a look at Levine now. Some silvers, bronzes. That makes sense. He's not the world's greatest shooter, but all right. Catch and shoot and corner specialist and difficult shots. He had all these last year. Hot zone hunter. Yep. Ice and veins is a new one. He did not have that last year. It's basically a clutch shooter for free throws. Volume shooter. Here we see Zach has that. Flexible release. He had that last year. Green machine. Hot start. Bronze. Yep. Alright, so once again, they added pick and popper. Pump fake maestro. Yeah, he had that last year. Slippery and tireless shooter. Okay, so nothing really changed. They just gave him pick and popper. Well, and they gave him silver ice and veins. So 2 badges they added for him in the shooting category. Otto Porter, looks like he's got some changes. Okay. Well, he already had catch and shoot bronze. Pick and popper, once again, a new addition. Pump fake maestro. This is another badge that they have been adding to players. This pump fake maestro and then pass fake maestro. You're going to see a lot more of this badge around the league. So he gets it here. Slippery off ball. Yep, he already had that. Alright, so they just added these 2 badges. Lauri Markkanen. He's a gold pick and popper. And for once, he already had that. Once again, pump fake maestro. So that's a new addition, and he gets a gold. Gold star for Markkanen. Silver catch and shoot. Yep. Looks like Ice and Veins. I think they started adding this badge around 2 because I know somebody on the Sixers had it. And now we got 2 guys on the Bulls who they added it to. Both of them are silver. Corner specialist. That is a new addition. Difficult shots he already had. Flexible release he did not have. Ditto for hot start. Ditto for hot zone hunter. Alright, so MARKKANEN had a bunch of shooting badges added this year. He did not have a good year last year. Probably suffered the most out of any player on the Bulls from Jim Boylan's coaching. But it was a struggle. So I'm a little surprised to see MARKKANEN get all these new badges. He has six new shooting badges. All right, Wendell Carter Jr., Pick and Popper, and Pump Fake Maestro. Pump Fake is new for him, and he was a mid-range shooter in college, and he hasn't been in the pros. Part of that has just been the Bulls' like coaching philosophy. They like try to emulate the Rockets and not take any mid-range shots, but they do a bad job. Like, it makes sense for the Rockets to do that because they have like their personnel can do that, whereas the Bulls don't have. They want to be like a threes and layups team, but they don't have great 3-point shooters, and you need to use the personnel that you've got. Don't just because Wendell Carter. What's up, Corey? Just because Wendell Carter only has range out to mid range doesn't mean that he shouldn't be taking those shots at all. All right, looks like another player that got Ice and Veins added. That's our 3rd Ice and Veins on the Bulls. And that's Satoransky's only badge, which is a little weird. He's not a great shooter. He only shot 32% this year from deep. But he probably should get like corner specialist because that's where he gets most of his threes from. If you could afford this damn game, you'd be grinding. I haven't even played a game with this game yet. It's working on the rosters. But in fact, I don't even anticipate that I'm going to play a game on the PS4 with this game. It's probably, I'll play on the PS5 when next gen comes. But as far as like current gen, I'm kind of over it. All right, Chris Dunn, no badges. Makes sense. He's not a good shooter. He shot really poorly this year. Hutchison, Pick and Popper, and Pump Fake Maestro. Pump Fake he already had. Popper's a new one. Thad Young. He already had Popper, but looks like they added Pump Fake for him. Harrison has no badges. That's unfortunate because he actually he shot the ball pretty well this year. 38% from 3. Kind of limited attempts, but alright, Luke Cornett. He didn't have a good he's a stretch 5. He didn't have a great shooting year, but they took away catch and shoot from him. And he had a bronze last year, now he doesn't have one. I don't know, that's silly to me. Guys who are shooters, just, even if he has like a bad shooting year in limited minutes, that's going to be a part of his game for his entire career. What do you need to take him away from for? Probably should have corner specialist too. And he's also one of the players that I have marked for, he should have range extender. Such as Levine, for that matter. I glossed over on that when I was reviewing Levine, but those are the two guys in the Bulls who have actually had reasonable success from like 30 feet and beyond. All right, Denzel Valentine. Probably should have corner specialist. Looks like they took away some badges from him. Last year he had Green Machine. Now he does not have it. Gafford didn't even, like, absolutely not. Specialist for Archidiakono. Hey, we got it. That was way better. He's probably a better corner specialist than a bronze. Maybe should have catch and shoot as well. I don't know if I would give him pick and popper. If they're giving out all the guards pick and popper, but just the catch and shoot badges probably. Felicio, nope. Max Struss, he's a shooter. I'd probably just give him catch and shoot and call it a day. Again, he may not, you know, I like him, but torn Achilles is kind of tough to come back from as a you know, as a two-way player. Okay, that was all the shooting badges. So now we move along to ball handling. Alright, so for Kobe White, these have all got to be new additions. And I'm probably gonna... Oh, shoot. Well, haha. Silly me. I did not write down the rest of the Bulls badges from this past season. I only had finishing and shooting, so won't be able to comment on what they gained or lost without like looking it up, which would take some time. Rats. Well, anyway, I can just comment on what I think they should have. Pass Fake Maestro is definitely a new one for him. That's fine. Space Creator makes sense. Bailout. Downhill. Sure. I guess. Lob City Passer. Yeah. The Bulls don't have a ton of lob threats. It's Daniel Gafford. And really, that's the only one. Needle Threader. Like, he was a two guard, not a point guard this year, so he didn't even have a lot of these badges they gave to him as a rookie. And yeah, I don't think any of these are new. They probably should have just taken them away from him. He's not a natural point guard by any stretch. Yeah, I'm okay with him having like ball handling badges, but like the ones that have to do with passing, Alright, playmaking for Zach. Downhill, yup, makes sense. He's scary in transition. Flashy passer, sure. Pass Fake Maestro Silver. Yeah, this is probably a new addition. They added Pass Fake Maestro for a lot of guys. Bailout makes sense. Quick first step in Space Creator. Okay. Okay, Otto Porter. Again, another player that had Pass Fake added. Not too much else to say. Markkanen, nah, not really. He's not a good passer. Wendell Carter, definitely not. SATORANSKY, like needle threader makes sense for him. He's got a great AT ratio. He takes care of the ball. Another guy they added, Maestro to, unpluckable. Yes, like I was saying, like he doesn't turn the ball over very much. So that badge makes sense for him. Floor general, that I don't know about. I think he had that last year, and he probably doesn't deserve it. He's definitely not a. There's a difference between not turning the ball over and like making your teammates better. And Lob City passer, yeah, I'm fine with that. I guess like it's better him than Kobe White. I didn't do the Bucks badges. I'm gonna wait until they're eliminated before I finish their ratings and stuff. As I do rate, I do take their playoff data into account, so it doesn't make sense for me to like do them now and then do they're on the verge of elimination, so I can wait a couple days before I'd rather work on them once than twice. So pass fake Maestro looks like done. That got added. Bailout downhill, lob passer, quick first step. Yeah, I got no complaints here. Hodgson, nah. Bailout for Thaddeus Young, sure. Maestro again added. Luke Cornett, pretty good passer for a center, but I don't think I'd give him any badges. Denzel Valentine, lob passer, needle threader, pass fake Maestro. All of these were probably added. Yeah. Nope. Archidiacono. Lob passer, needle threader, pass fake Maestro. Again, Maestro's probably new. I don't like. The Bulls have a bunch of guys with lob passer, but I don't think they have any guys that actually out like finish alley-oops. Did I do the Bulls' tendencies? Let me just check real quick. Yeah, Gafford catches them. Actually, I guess Wendell Carter gets them also. And Levine gets a fair amount for a guard. Luke Cornett actually catches some. Okay, I'm wrong. But Gafford's their big time alley-ooper. And yeah, nope, never. Okay, and finishing off with defense. Yeah, no, well actually, Kobe White does have a good defensive skill. Probably should have pick dodger. His pick and roll defense statistically was very good this year. So I'd be okay with him having like a bronze or silver pick dodger. Pogo stick for Zach LaVine. I hate this badge. This badge like makes Mitchell Robinson catch blocks in midair like every game. But for a guard like LaVine, maybe it's fine. I think this is a new addition for him. As far as his defense, he's actually another one that not a bad pick and roll defender. His defense was better this year than it had been in past years. That's the one thing that Jim Boylan was actually good for, was getting his guys to defend a little bit. The offense was a fucking train wreck, but the defense was actually fine. this year for the Bulls. No defense badges for Otto Porter. I mean, that's fine-ish. I don't know. There's probably something he could get. Like, he was a better defender maybe with Washington, but I don't know. Zero. Zero's a little sus. Just box for MARKKANEN. He's not a good defender. He's an okay rebounder, so yeah, box makes a little sense. Wendell Carter Jr., silver for box and worm. He's the best rebounder on the team, so makes sense. And then brick wall moving truck. He's 6'9", 270, so you know, yep, that's about par for the course. He's not really a good shot blocker, so we don't see any shot blocking badges for him. None for SATORANSKY. That's fine. He's kind of a mediocre defender. Chris Dunn, very good defender. One of the best point guards in the league at defense. And I'm going to be interested to see if the Bulls bring him back. I think, like, Dunn hasn't... He's struggled offensively his first couple seasons. But when you look at his build, 6'3", 205... he's not too far off from being Marcus Smart. You know, he just needs to shoot the ball better. I don't think because he can't shoot, I don't think he's a long-term point guard. So playing like a secondary ball handler role like Smart's probably the best case scenario for him moving forward. But at any point that he, develops a three-point shot, we're talking like a Pat Beverly-esque, type of guy. And that's a starter in this league, so he's worth keeping an eye on. The Bulls may not bring him back as a free agent. They may opt to go to give Coby White more minutes at the point guard and develop him. But certainly, Dunn would be missed if they moved on from him. As far as his badges, interceptor and pickpocket make a lot of sense. He I believe he led the league in steal rate off the top of my head. And I mean, he was good he was good at stealing even before this year also. So if he keeps it up, I wouldn't have a problem with him like getting like Hall of Fame badges, since they're giving those out a little more liberally. But I think gold is fair for where he is now and his role and everything. Lightning reflexes, off-ball pest, trapper, clamps, and pick dodger. Yeah, these are all good for him. Maybe even like silver clamps. Hutchison, nope, second-year guy, not really a defender. Thad Young, interceptor, intimidator, pickpocket, tireless defender, and trapper. I think Trapper is new. The rest he probably are, and maybe Tireless Defender's new. But Pickpocket and Interceptor, those badges make sense. He's one of the best power forwards in the league at getting steals. Not much of a shot blocker or rim protector, though. Shaq Harrison's another good defender. He could guard any from point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Also has a great steal rate, so I would like to see these go up. His steal rate is big. I think it was top 5 in the league last year, and I mean Dunn has like double gold, so like I think at the very least double silver for Harrison would make sense. Off-ball pass and trapper. Yeah, those are fine. Cornette, he's an okay shot blocker, but not enough of one that, maybe you could give him like rim protector bronze or something, but I wouldn't go nuts. Denzel Valentine, nope, one of the worst defensive players in the league through no fault of his own. He's had some injuries. He wasn't a good athlete before his injuries, so now like You know, he's realistically he should be playing like the 2 guard. You know, for his size, 6'4", 220, but he's basically an undersized 3, and he might have to be a power forward in this league, like a la. His best case scenario is becoming like the next PJ Tucker. You know, because he just doesn't have the athleticism or quickness to keep up with 2s at all. So he's gonna have to just get strong and body guys that are bigger than him. He would make a lot of sense for the Rockets, keeping this in mind. You know, and he's a free agent this year, so if I were his agent, I would want him to get linked up with Houston, because that's where his skill set would really flourish, I think. Pogo stick for Daniel Gafford. Yeah, I guess. He had a great block rate, so wouldn't be against him having like an additional shot blocking badge. Arcidiacono. Yeah, nah, not really. Maybe Pick Dodger or something. And rebound chaser for this clown. Nah. I would take it away from him. Just to, if anything, just to lower his rating. Like, one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Just to get his rating down a tick. Alright. That's everybody. Wish I had the data for these last 2 categories. Just to review, you know, just so we could see exactly what the changes were. But I think we have, from what I saw, we have a pretty good idea. Pass fake maestro got added for a bunch of guys. So I'm going to cut this one off. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you like this content, like, follow, subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Real2KInsider. This is John Markish, your Real 2K Insider. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.